All right, here's a major leadership lesson that I want to share with you, having just come out of a 3-day conference here at the beautiful Spier Wine Estate in Cape Town. It was a conference, actually they call it an unconference, put on by WPP, called Stream Africa. And they bring leaders in business, people who are CEOs, CTOs, and CMOs, not only of the advertising and media companies that are in the WPP group, such as Ogilvy and many others that are like that, but also people who are executives of some of their biggest clients that they service as well. And so we had a couple hundred leaders at this unconference, and the reason it's called that is because the content of the conference is actually contributed by the attendees themselves. And so I wanted to share with you probably the biggest leadership lesson that I've taken away from being at this conference. And that leadership lesson is that the greatest leaders, and this especially counts if you are a leader who wants to lead other leaders, the greatest difference is in having a participant mindset and an observer mindset. Coming here into WPP Stream, one of the things that they stress is that the success of this conference is by how much everyone participates in the discussions and all the activities and everything that they have going on. Not only are the topics of the different sessions depicted by the people who are attending, but also the actual information and contributions that are discussed comes from the people who are attending. So I would like to think of it like this. Instead of thinking of it as a participant versus a spectator, I like to use the word a host versus a guest. And there's a difference in having a host mindset and having a guest mindset. Now, of course, when it comes to business, it's not like you're going to be actually hosting every event per se or every meeting per se, but you can still come into every event or every meeting having a host mindset or a guest mindset. And let me give you a couple of differences between the two. Firstly, having a host mindset means that you're always inclusive, whereas having a guest mindset means that you are exclusive. What I mean by that is that whenever you're a host, you're looking for ways to include other people. Maybe you're in a meeting and you find that there's some people who are naturally loud and opinionated and confident in giving their thoughts. And then you find other people who maybe are a little bit more introvert, or perhaps they don't find it as easy to share what's on their mind. And so as a host, you would naturally look for ways to include other people because you want them to walk away having that experience, right? Whereas if you were there just with a guest mindset, then you wouldn't be intuitive about who is being included or not. So that is the first thing, is being inclusive of people. If you're at an event and you see that somebody is looking a little bit left out, for example, maybe they don't know everyone there, that you would be the kind of person who would go up to them and talk to them. Even if you're not sure if they're the kind of person who's going to add any value to you, you're going to want to go there and be the one to include them. Which leads me to my second difference between having a host mindset versus a guest mindset is adding value, right? I mean, if you're hosting a party, for example, you're there to serve the people who are coming in to enjoy the party with you. And so that's exactly what leaders need to do with that host mindset, is thinking, how do I add value? How do I give people the kind of experience that whenever they're around me, I'm the kind of person that if I see that somebody needs help, I'm going to be adding that value to help them. If I see a problem that needs to be solved, I'm going to be the one adding value. And to be honest, you are where you are as a leader because you have certain skills, certain abilities. Your experience has given you an intuition about things, right? You have strengths that other people don't have. And so when you come into any situation, whether it be a meeting or an event or any type of project, with any type of team or group of people, if you come in with that host mindset of how do I bring myself with all of my strengths, everything that I know, to add value to everyone else, you're going to find that you're going to be a far stronger leader, and you'll be able to lead other leaders because you're going to have different strengths than everyone else. The last thing that I want to share with you, the difference between having a host mindset and a guest mindset, is that hosts are proactive, whereas guests are reactive. Now, this sounds really simple, right? But how many times would you be sitting somewhere and you see things happening, and because you just feel like you're a guest like everyone else, you always think someone else is going to deal with it, right? Well, I've learned that there are 3 types of people in the world. There are the people who make things happen. There are the people who just watch things happen. And then there's the third group of people that look around and go, what the hell just happened? Now, someone as a leader with a host mindset you're always proactively looking to help make things happen. This applies to everything else that I've said about adding value, about being inclusive. Having a host mindset means that you're proactive about it. At the moment you see that there's a gap that needs to be filled, or someone that needs to be helped, or a problem that needs to be solved, you're taking that initiative. Whereas people with a guest mindset, they're reactive. They're waiting for someone to say, hey, please will you come help with this? Or, they're just waiting to react to what's going on, that they'll just point out problems instead of being the kind of person who just steps in to help solve those problems. So just to summarize what they are, the difference between being a host and a guest, just in mindset alone, which completely changes the way that you show up as a leader. The first is to be proactive instead of reactive. The second is to add value instead of just taking value. And ironically, by the way, the more value you add, the more value you are going to get. And the last one is to be inclusive, deliberately inclusive, looking for ways to include other people instead of being exclusive, which is a far more selfish state of mind to be in. And when you do these three things, you're going to find you're going to be a far more powerful leader, a leader who leads other influential leaders. And that's exactly what I observed here the last 3 days at Stream. If this made sense to you and you want a little bit more information about it, to learn for yourself or even to share with your team, go ahead and click the link with us, because I'll create a little PDF one-pager that highlights all the main points of what I've just described to you. Thanks a lot. See you soon.